Being a Taurus Venus is not for the weak because you love love, but at the same time, you're a little stubborn, so you can be kind of picky in it. And I want to rate Taurus Venus compatibility with all the other signs based on my own experience as a Taurus Venus. A Taurus and another Taurus Venus may sound like the perfect match, and maybe it is because love is very tangible for both of these people. I think that there's a certain level of stubbornness at the same time, although their ideals when it comes to love are very much the same. There's also this tendency to be kind of lazy together because Taurus love nothing more than to just kind of relax and chill. So this can put them back when it comes to personal goals that they may have because they just love spending so much time together. Overall, I'm going to rate Taurus and Taurus compatibility an 8 out of 10 because I think that there's going to be some kind of stagnation when it comes to this relationship because there's two earth signs. Taurus feels very comfortable with Cancer, as Cancer does the same with Taurus because of the seriousness and warmth that Taurus can bring to a relationship. However, I think one thing that this relationship can suffer from is the fact that it can become too predictable and things can become kind of boring. Cancer is a sign that needs to be poked and prodded when it comes to talking about their feelings, and Taurus is not really inclined to do that naturally. So communication can really suffer between these two, although they do have really similar values when it comes to family and finances. I think that Cancer's a little bit more flexible, just a little bit more flexible than Taurus is, because they do want a comfortable environment. However, like I said, this relationship can become boring if they don't have something to share together or some kind of hobby to do together. So overall, I would rate Taurus and Cancer Venus a 8.5 out of 10. I think Taurus and Virgos do work really well together because they are earth signs. They have a very similar view on love. They're very sensual when it comes to that. And I think that they enjoy the simple pleasures when it comes to love, sex, and relationships. They have shared interests and projects. However, the Virgo person may be a little bit more flexible than the Taurus person is because Virgos are mutable, Taurus are fixed signs, so it's kind of hard for them to do that. Virgo is really humble but also needs to be appreciated, and I think this is something that the Taurus person can do very well for them. However, they may butt heads sometimes because it is two earth signs. So overall, I would rate this pairing a 7.5 out of 10. I talked about Scorpio and Taurus Venus compatibility in my last video for Scorpio compatibility, but I do want to hit on the nose that the thing about Taurus and Scorpio and having sister signs when it comes to Venus signs is that you have the ability to allow the other person to see your point of view. I think that there's a lot of attraction because there's a lot of commitment and loyalty that happens between these two signs. So I think that I rated this a 9 out of 10 in my last video. Maybe double check. Taurus and Capricorn Venuses are also two earth signs that work pretty well together. I think that they have enough differences that allow things to be kind of exciting. They do have common goals, however, they do pursue them very differently. Capricorns are cardinal signs, so they're all about action and getting things done. Tauruses can be very fixed in their ways, maybe a little bit lazy when it comes to that, so they might have some kind of arguments about that, and Taurus being too complacent. I also think that they know they can really rely on one another. Like I said, these are two earth signs, so dependability is really important for them. So overall, I would say that Capricorn and Taurus Venus is an 8.5 out of 10 in my book. Taurus and Pisces are a pair that work really well together, and I think this is because this combination is so creative, and I think that the Pisces person may not feel emotionally stable or strong all the time, and Taurus can really be that shoulder that they can lean on a little bit. I think that Taurus does have a hard time feeling that they can depend on Pisces though, because their dependability really depends on their mood. They can either be too set in their ways or maybe they're too predictable. Taurus can appreciate both sides a little bit. They have similar taste and appreciation when it comes to art, but not really the exact same. I do think that Taurus thinks Pisces is a little bit too indecisive, and Pisces thinks that Taurus is a little bit too rigid, but like I said, they have very common goals, and I think they can balance each other out. So overall, I would rate Taurus and Pisces Venus a 9.5 out of 10.